Hi and welcome back to another GeoGebra tutorial. This one will focus on being able to graph functions fairly easily and then changing any graph settings. So let's say that we have these two equations that we're working with, and we want to get a decent looking graph that we can easily manipulate. So we come over to our GeoGebra, and within GeoGebra we want to we want to work in the graphics view because this is literally our viewpoint. So a lot of these toolbars here, these features will allow you to do different things on the graph. Right now we have highlighted the move graphics view, and what that allows us to do is it allows us to literally grab. You can see the hand kind of clasps down and you can kind of move the graph around depending on where you want to be looking. Another thing that you can do in the move graphics view is you can actually, you notice that whenever you move the hand over the y-axis, you get this double-sided arrow, and if you click and drag down, then what that'll do is it'll actually sort of zoom out only in one direction. So now you're seeing the scale from 0 to 50 in my case. Or if you really want to zoom in and you really just want to be focused from 0 to 10, then you can drag up. Same kind of concept for the y-axis or the x-axis. You can either make a scale a lot larger, or you can make the scale a lot smaller by pulling out in this direction. Okay, so we want to go ahead and graph these equations. Now in the algebra view, this will display anything that we have plotted, any variables that we've created, any quantities that we've created, etc. And so we want to plot 3x minus 2y equals 18. Now this is just as simple as going to the input bar down here and typing in 3x minus 2y equals 18. We press enter, excuse me, and now immediately you'll see that a line has been created of the form 3x minus 2y equals 18. So we don't even need to solve for y, it graphs itself. And so, immediately, let's say we were right there and we didn't really know where the function was being displayed. We could kind of zoom out and shift around, and if you actually have a little wheel, a little zoom wheel on your mouse, you can just zoom forward or zoom out to kind of just get a rough image of where that graph is located. You could also just use one of the zoom in or zoom out features listed here. Okay, so there's my first function, and now my second function is x plus y equals 10. So I'll type that in again into the input bar, and it'll create, again over in my algebra view, another line. And so now I can see that the two functions are listed. And you can kind of see up here, it shows, it's calling this line B, so it's showing the label, and it's calling this line A, and it's showing the label. And right now, personally, I don't like the way it's displayed. So I'm going to go ahead, come over here, I either click the line or click the line from the algebra window, which is personally a little bit easier in my opinion. And then if you right click and go down to object properties, you can now manipulate things about the graph. So you can rename it if you want. If you don't want to show the label, you can turn the label A on and off, or you can show different features of the graph. Like let's say I want to show the value of it. Well, now you see that we're not showing what the line is called, but we're showing its equation by choosing value. And at the same time, I can just click right in this preferences window and go to B and say again, show label. I want to show the value. So now you can see x plus y equals 19 shows up there. And I can also do things like change the color of things. So maybe I want that function to show up in red, and I want line A to show up in, I don't know, maybe I want it to show up in blue. And by the way, you can uncheck or check it if you still want that line to exist, but you don't want it to display on your window. You can check or uncheck it. So right now I've got it in blue. I can change the style. I can change line thickness. I can change the line style if I want it to be dotted. I can do the same thing for B. Maybe I want that to be, I don't know, maybe I want that to be really thick, and I want the I want the line style to be tiny dots. And I can go to advanced features. So it's, right now I'm working with equations of the form ax plus by equals c, and then you get into some of the more advanced stuff, which is probably unnecessary. And that's it, and that's enough. So that's what we have, and now we can exit out of there. And if we click back to the move arrow, now the move arrow will again let us do a lot of the same things, but allow us to highlight functions, and there we've got it. And so now I can do things like put a point on the graph, and if I highlight both of the functions, you can see how right now just the blue dotted line gets highlighted when I hover over it, and if I hover along the blue line but closer to the red line, you'll see that they both highlight. And right now it says in the yellow box line A, line B, and basically what I'm trying to do now is create a point. It says click on the graphics view or online function or curve, and now I can kind of again go over to that intersection point, click, and it's created this point A, and the significance of that point A is that it's the intersection of points A and B, or intersection point of lines A and B. And so now I can see that that is the point 11.27.8. And again, right now it's showing me the point name, which is, it's called A. So if I want to change the object properties, go back to basic, and I can say, show me the value on the graph. That's what I really want to see. And I want to see this point in green, and I want the style to be, you know, super large point, and I want to maybe show it to me as an X. So X marks the spot. And now you can see there it is, the intersection point shows me the value. And if I want to move that ordered pair around so that I can very clearly see it, I can do it like that. So that's it. And now if I want to export the image, I can do things like come over to File, Export, and I can say basically Graphics View to Clipboard. And what that will allow me to do is if I come over, let's say in here, and I paste it, Control V, then it'll show that image that I'm seeing in my graphics view directly to the clipboard. Or what I can do is I can export it as a file, so I can do a graphics view as picture. I can choose what kind of graphics view I want. You know, a lot of these are better quality, but I can also just choose to export it as a PNG file or a PNG, and then I can click Save, and you can save the file name wherever you want. So then you can upload it to things like Canvas or a website or wherever you'd like, or into a document. So that's pretty much it for this video. Just some quick tips and tricks, and you can certainly play around with things and see how they work.